Hi, honey.
Hi, Charlie.
You know,
Hey, guys.
it's so weird. I saw you try twice. All it did is come up voicemail. It never rang.
Yeah.
It never did anything. It just kept. I think you had that with Bree one time too. It just did voicemail. So
Yeah.
I said, look, try again. I figured you'd try again this, or you would try Dad's phone, but I figured eventually you'll get it. So never think badly of, Yeah, sorry.
No. I talked to Mike yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
About the boat?
Yeah. So I told him that, you don't need to, it's not like you got to do it tomorrow or anything.
Right.
But that is convenience.
Does he have it now, or is it at the house?
No, there's a house waiting for me to come home.
It's at the house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you told him to what?
I told him to call Janice. Yeah, I told him to call Janice. And I told him to call Janice, when he gets, there's no rush. I mean, obviously the guy's working, he's got a business, he's got a life. So I'm like, in the next week or two, just call her, then make arrangements, and pick it up. And he's like, well, do you want me to sell it to you? What do you want to do? I was like, listen. He's like, I'll keep it in the warehouse for you. And I said, well, I don't see myself using it anytime soon. But he's like, come on, you got to think positive. I'm like, well, if you need the space or something, let's sell it. But if not, he's like, I'll keep it there for you. If I need the space, I'll let you know. But if I don't need the space,
okay,
we'll keep it in the warehouse.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right. Maybe that's mentally that'll feel good.
Yeah, actually, I like that he's going to do that. That's good.
So he's like, no, if you want, I'll sell it. But I don't mind. I'll keep it. I'll turn it on for you on a charger. No.
Good. Okay. I think that's good. I think it's nice that he's doing that, and I think it's good.
So.
Okay. So at least I know what's happening with that. Okay.
Yeah. Dad took all the handymen out of the house a long time ago, right?
Almost all. We have to go back. We have to open the safe again. Yeah. Almost all, honey. Everything that you were worried about. We have.
I mean, some stuff I want to go enrollment, but obviously stuff now.
Right. And we know, and Wendi knows exactly who it should go to. And we've already discussed that with her. Actually, Dad did that with her today. So she saw it, she knows. So, yes, it's for roaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to put stuff in there, you have to go to college before you get started things, and it's sacrificing to do something.
All right, listen to me, Charlie. I know about the trust. Susan was here. Yes, was it yesterday? I lost track of the days. Yesterday, she was here. We went over everything with her. I know when he's supposed to get certain things. That doesn't mean that. I mean, there's enough there. He doesn't have to wait until that age. He wants camp. He needs clothes. He needs whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. He'll have everything. I promise you. He will have everything that he needs. Okay? Bree's not going to be, calling and saying, oh, my God, I need this, I need that. It's not going to happen. She'll call us, and we will take care of it. So do not worry about Roman. He'll be well cared for.
And then if anything ever happens to you, she'll look after this stuff for him.
And if anything happens to us, Michael takes care of him. And because of the age, Michael and Dad are not kids. Because of that, anything with Michael, Wendi will look after it. And she's taking this very seriously, and she knows, and believe me, she will do everything right for them. She will. So, we're not there. Dad and I are still here. So it's got a way to go, but yeah. But because of our ages, we ain't going to be here when Roman is older. So. Especially at the age that you set it up. So this way, Wendi will take care of him. Her nephew should take care of him. Don't have to even think twice about it. Trust me. Okay? He'll be fine.
I'd like it.
That's good that Mike is taking care of the boat.
Yeah, that's nice that he's doing that.
Yeah,
really.
it's good.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie, every day, you know, this is just what you said. You're in shock. We all are. This is unexpected, and it's terrible. And you're in a shitty place right now. And can't even get out of there. I mean, little by little. I don't know if it's going to be today or tomorrow. Dan said, you know, I told you what he said. It could be 48 hours. It could be another day. I mean, he's trying, but he has no control. He could just talk to them and, you know, make that effort. He can't do anything else. So,
Yeah.
Just think, okay, maybe I'll get out of here today or tomorrow, and things will start to just move a little bit. Just move the needle a little bit every day, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie, you still there?
Yeah.
It's like at least Jimmy, when he was making his will out, he was calling his kids for like 2 more years, 3 more years. This is like,
I know, Charlie.
I'm just saying, like, to win an appeal, to get a new trial, to get a change of venue with a new trial, to get all 12 people to agree with you, all the time that you're going to be prepping and being refreshed and going over everything, to something that I'm not going to be as fresh and as recent as it is now, to, you know, to go ahead and like,
You know, you say that now because you're not even 48 hours into this, but don't sell yourself short. You have other people that care about you. Things can happen. Okay, so just
no, I get it. I just feel also like, listen, things come back on appeal on cases, but when it's the biggest case of people's career, like when you're a judge and it's the biggest case you've ever looked after, and you're a prosecutor and it's the biggest case you've ever done, like, you're not looking to make mistakes to get it back on appeal. You're looking to err in a direction that would make it impossible to come back on appeal. You know, like if you wanted to rule hard on certain things, you rule soft. If there's less things that, you know, you can't, like, if you made an improper ruling and didn't allow me to bring in certain evidence, well, then that's a good reason to bring it back. But if you're ruling with the defendant, you can't say that you ruled against me.
I know.
You know, the guy that I was friendly with here he got into a fight with someone and supposedly he took a Corningware dishware and broke it over the guy's head and then stole his car. And then he got like 15 years in prison for it, right?
Yeah.
They actually charged him. They overcharged him. It should have just been like assault and battery. But they actually charged him with attempted murder.
Mm.
And so it was a fight. Anyway, that's his version of it. So his grandmother got him an attorney. The attorney charged him $7,500 to do the case. And the attorney, like when he showed up in court, the defendant, the victim testified, right? His attorney kept calling the victim who was testifying by the wrong name. He didn't even pay attention to remember the guy's name who was the victim. So he got sentenced to like, I don't know, 15 or 20 years. And he was there for 10 years. And he was able to get like some part thrown out on appeal. And he was in prison for 10 years. And then he got 5 years probation. And then he was out. And then like 4 months into being on probation, he tested positive for cocaine. And he said it was because his stepson had killed himself. He said he thought he should just do it to split his wrist to get attention, but he actually used a straight, like, barber trimmer that you trim a beard with. An old-fashioned one, a big barber. Split his wrist and died in the house. So he went off the deep end and was doing cocaine again. And said with drug test. They had him here in Leon County for a probation violation for 16 months for testing positive. He was here for 14 months, and then they sent him to a 6-month rehab program. But I think what it was they suspended the sentence for 15 years. So by that one probation violation, the prosecutor who was here before wanted to send him back to prison for 15 years for a probation violation. Because once you I had learned a lot about the law here. Once you violate your probation, they could send you back to the full amount of the sentence that was suspended. So he's out on probation, but he has that basically 15 years hanging over his head if he violates. If he violated, and the guy was going to send him back for 15 years. It doesn't even go to the judge. It's already signed up with the courts. It's called a PRR, like probation, reoffender, something or other. When you violate probation, you automatically get those 15 years. So that prosecutor left town after being here for 10 years. He got a new person on, and he was able to delay it long enough that they gave him just six months of drug rehab. So he got very, very lucky because that other prosecutor was the one who sent him away for like 20 years, and he came back on appeal for ineffective counsel, and he was able to show that for an attempted murder case, a private attorney should be he's like on an attempted murder case, a private attorney should be anywhere from like $50,000 to $75,000 to do a case like that. This is the amount of time that's involved, right? This guy charged him $7,500 total. The whole case. He's like, this guy didn't read anything in the file. I mean, that's including everything he had to do in the case, showing up, taking the case to court, taking the case to trial, $7,500. So he was able to show the court, like, look, the guy didn't do anything. Not only did he was able to show the court that he gave effective counsel. Like, there's no way that you could do this case for $7,500. What he did was he took my money, didn't learn about the case. He probably spent 3 hours reading it, and then showed up to court, and he was calling the victim the wrong name the whole time. So he actually got really lucky. He did bash the guy over the head with a warning fish wire and break it over his head. And he said, like, he would have been found guilty with a really good attorney. So it's kind of ironic that because he had such a bad attorney, he got like part of his conviction thrown out by that counsel. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
But they found me guilty on all 3 charges. I didn't even read that, but
It wasn't necessary.
So it was done on purpose. So it was like, if you ever came back on one, you got to come back on all 3. It was basically, it was, and when Dan and I used to talk on the phone, and he'd be like, I see you coming home in the car with me. He's like, I picture myself driving you home from Tallahassee. You know what? Even though he'd say it and he believed it, you know, I tell you like what I felt in my gut. I never felt it. I always thought, man, that would be amazing. Play along, that would be amazing. I never like.
Do you know how many times I said, oh, we're going to meet you here, we're going to meet you there? I said, Billy and I are walking out of that courthouse. I'm driving him home. I want to do it. Yeah. Whatever you say. It wasn't like, it wasn't something he said. He meant it.
Yeah. No, he knew. He said, look, we're going to have an answer for everything because you're innocent. Like, you're going to have a logical answer. If you can't have a logical answer for it, why are you showing up at the scene of the crime? Yeah. And then it makes it seem like you're coming up with excuses. It really does. When I told someone that was shooting there, I was like, yeah, that's really true. You know what they said? That's got to be like 1 in a million. I think it was family from Detroit. I said, no, she was really there. He was like, no, you gotta be kidding me. That's like, the odds of that. He's always like an odd guy. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I do.
And he's like, you gotta be kidding me. That's like 1 in a million. Like you can't even imagine the odds. And I go, that happened. Right after she spoke to her mom and her brother that morning. Like, the reason for her being on Trescott at 12:30 never sounded right to anyone. Except that's what happened. She was going to the liquor store. She used to go from that house, and that was a lot of times she did. And I think it should have been brought out. I mean, I think I did bring it out, but then it's belabored. When I went to dinner with her, they sat us at the bar. The drinks that they give you are those martinis, and they're really, really sweet, but they're loaded with alcohol. So she had one drink at the bar, and we sat down at the table. We had one drink with dinner. What I should have said is that those drinks are like 3 shots each one. So you have someone on an empty stomach who has like a 0 alcohol tolerance, who just had 2 sweet drinks, but it's the equivalent of 6 shots. They put almost 3 ounces of alcohol in each martini. So that's like the equivalent of having 6 glasses of wine on an empty stomach on a girl who weighs 120 pounds who has no alcohol tolerance. She doesn't drink ever. Last time she went to a liquor store was she was married 3 or 4 years earlier. That's the one she went to. And she picked it up on the way to lunch. Like, that's the real reason. Nothing to see here. Which, the one time that she left that house, she drove by at 12:30 without having a reason to be at the house. Like, how many miles away is she? How many different ways to get there? All needs to Trescott. You've done that down. You probably had yours sitting back there discussing this thing. Do we believe that she just happened to meander by there at 12:30 on the 18th on her own? Do we believe her? And if you don't believe her, you really don't need to listen to bullshit music. You don't need to listen to anything else. You just go, well, what happened that day got her to where she wanted to be. So I don't even think it's more reason that she was in the vested interest in driving by that house. She couldn't help herself. Sounds good.
The way she worded it.
She couldn't help herself. I mean, acting like Dan was being a straight shooter and being honest and like breaking it down and explaining the case to people and like doing like being a lawyer. She was like she became like the guy on the radio said, Ms. Kappelman made it all seem like a movie and made it real. It was like watching a 2-hour movie on the case.
He's right. He's right.
And that's true. She put a 2-hour movie together with autopsy photos 2 or 3 times. And it was basically, do you believe Wendi? Do you think she had a motive? Do you think that she wanted to move to South Florida? Here's the family's emails. Relocation is #1 priority. As soon as she drove down Prescott and she saw what happened, her #1 priority, #1 family's priority, you see it in her writing, happened. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
lay it out.
Lay it out.
She had to say, lay it out. And she could have found the heaven. If Wendi fought her on the relocation thing, she would have seemed like a liar. And it wasn't that important. So then Wendi really, at that point, when he realized she was going to be in Tallahassee a long time, it wasn't that big of a deal.
It wasn't.
So Wendi kind of like, they made it seem like Wendi didn't care that much. Well, the back half was on attack. She wants you to believe that she doesn't care about staying in Tallahassee. Well, that's why you're writing a book and you're talking about your motive of leaving. You had no intention of wanting to stay there. You were felt trapped. You know, the email says relocation. Know your order. #1 priority. Put the kids in Nazi uniforms.
Yeah.
Once she drove down Trescott that day, she knew she was out of there. And 2 days later, she was out of there. that she changed the kid's name, that she didn't let the grandparents see the kids. I mean, they make all those facts get spun, not reality, but evil. They make you sound sick and evil. And then once they make you sound sick and evil, you can't sound like somebody that's like, oh, I didn't really care if I was making a life for myself in Tallahassee. No, not a life you wanted. Not a life you got. Once you could just have leave and no one stopping you, and then you left within 48 hours, did you?
You know, sometimes I think, Charlie, that I was just going to say it's off topic, but not. Sometimes I think you have like ESP. So, I don't know, 15 minutes ago, you said something to us about U.S. legal. So at 3:05, what time is it? 3:10. So five minutes ago, I see an email from Alex.
Oh,
it
nice.
seems that, because Dad has been digging into this since last year, and then we finally found out that the check was mailed, even though we had moved. It was mailed to the Icon, and remember Gene at the front desk?
Right.
He signed for it. We found that. I mean, we were literally like little investigators here. So we got that information, and then it took. Dad went to Wells Fargo. He went to different people there. Then it finally had to go to the legal department. A whole to-do, and then the end result is that the only person at that point who could pick it up was Alex or you.
Yeah, what it is, I had a power of attorney that they would not accept.
They wouldn't accept it. So in any case,
Alex
he just took a picture of it. He said, I got it. Let me know the address to send it. So
that was the $5,000 check.
Yeah.
Yep, a little over 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was what we were trying to get.
But the two big things for Ryan are going to be, he was writing checks to people that don't exist in real life. So I was writing checks to like Kyle and Nicholas, and then he told me I was funding cases of Nicholas, except he was taking those checks, and he had someone on the inside of the bank or going to a check cashing store and then cashing it. And then when I closed the company and I wanted to find out what's going on with Nicholas Cage, he said, client is in jail. He sent me back, the client was in jail. The client is incarcerated. But what he was doing was I was lending to people that don't exist in the real world, and then he was able to cash those checks somehow, and then he was just going to lie to me and tell me the cases went belly up, and he was telling me that there were cases with the that was the institution, that was the fraud. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then the embezzlement was when I was lending to good cases, he was having to write the check to him personally. So if I lent $5,000 and the case settled for a lot of money, go back $14,000, right? What he was doing was he had to write him a check for $1,000. So I'm lending $5, I'm due back $14, case settles, write a check to Ryan for $1. And then he would cash the check.
Sold the rest.
What?
Sold the rest.
Well, and their client. Because they were able to get their client. Wouldn't it be great if you get a $5,000 loan and then 3 years later pay back $1,000? That's got to be like the best loan business in the world.
That's a really good loan, right?
So really why would the thing that I'm taking back less? So they're signing contracts where they screwed up themselves. They signed a contract with U.S. Legal Funding, telling U.S. Legal Funding that we had a lien on the case. So when the case settles and the funds are distributed, I have to get paid back. So I put $5,000 down, I get $14,000 back. Okay. Well, the case settles, they pay $1,000 to Ryan Fitzpatrick. And then when I ask him what's going on with the case, he tells me it's still in litigation. And I go, okay, still in litigation. No, the case has been settled and Ryan has been paid. So what the did was over 13 checks, they paid him $63,000. But the total, so they paid Ryan personally $63,000 over 13 checks. But what was actually the real amount that was owed was like $400,000 or $500,000. So he took $10,000 pennies on the dollar of what was owed on the loan amount. Just like I was owed 14 and he got paid 1. I mean, I was probably owed $400,000 or $500,000 with the outstanding balance. But they paid less than principal on the loans and they paid him to Ryan. So they loved him. What a great deal. And he loved them because it's getting free money. And their clients are loving their lawyers because they're borrowing $5 grand and paying that 1 from the trust account.
Right.
And then meanwhile, they're just hoping I go to jail. I mean, it was the only thing I could have done is go call my friends and say, what the hell's Ryan doing? He told everyone I stabbed him in the back. The victim. They Aaron the victim, they Tommy the victim. You know, would show up and be like, oh, man, I love Charlie so much, but you wouldn't believe what he did the other day. And then you tell him what I said, and then like, oh, you know what? I shouldn't say anything. We're going through a hard time. You know what? Just it's doing it every time when I told him what he said. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get involved in this. So what happened is when I would go to Darren, I'd be like, Darren, is Ryan doing something? Like, keep talking about me? Like, you know, no, he was yelled at me. He's like, stop with this Ryan. It's got nothing to do with Ryan. Like, of course, he couldn't tell me. Yeah, the reason my wife hates him was because Ryan poured poison in her ear. The reason I'm pissed at you is because of the things you said about my kid, because Ryan told me. But here I am asking him, so maybe I have a guilty conscience, and I'm like, oh, I know I said something to Darren about Darren's kids to Ryan. So, but do you think Darren wants to get involved? He's like, Mister, he's smart. He doesn't get involved in other people's shit. He's like, I got my own life to live. I don't get involved in other people's shit. I got my own stuff. Like, that's his attitude of life. Like, it's smart attitude. But like, I'm like, did Ryan say something to you? Like, I knew it had to be him. But Ryan was playing it like he cared about me so much. You think Darren's going to go to the source Ryan and tell me like where I heard what you said? No, of course not. Here's the question: why would Ryan lie? He's been running 25 years. Why would Ryan lie? And it's Darren because he's stealing my money and he needs you to hate him. Because I can't go to the police and I can't sue him. So what would I do? Or my friend Darren. What friend? The ones that hate you? Like, and I knew it. I knew that in 2017. The problem was when I was asking my friends, was Ryan behind this? Everybody didn't want to get involved. No one wanted to say, yeah, he told us, but he also told us not to say anything to you. Like, he made us a promise. He poured the poison and then acted like your friend. So who wants to get involved in that shit? So but I knew, I had feelings. I knew that's what it had to be. But he wouldn't even tell me it was that. I could say turning Ryan, and it would be in the middle of a mess. So it was like, in all the ways, Ryan was always super nice. He'd be nicer than everybody else because he was turning everybody else against me.
He was making out like shouldn't say like a bandit. He was a bandit. He was a bandit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. You know, and then when I told me I had to pay the money back, that's when he threatened me to go to the police. I'll tell the FBI everything I know.
Yeah.
You know, and then next thing I know, I'm sitting in a courtroom with Kaplan telling everybody, even his best friend, Ryan, Fitzpatrick said, the defendant said you can get away with murder and keep your mouth shut. Ooh.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
total liar. What a liar.
Yeah, you're a liar. And stealing and posting shit online and like, but hey, maybe I said that to him. I mean, like, you know, like, and then we had a falling out, and now, like, but it doesn't matter. She's still bringing that into closing. I'm sitting in the closing of my life. Well, she's bringing up the guy who stole my money, got rid of my friends, and now he's a witness to what? A witness to nothing. But it just shows one more person. I mean, she was talking about Ryan, even his own sister. Even his own sister said, was asked about this. Like, it's almost like she started making it seem like Wendi was saying the whole thing was like the way she phrased it and the way she threw it out there.
When I heard it, cringing.
She threw it out like, look, even his own sister's throwing him underneath the bus. Like his best friend, his sister. You know, like it's just adding it on. But it's like, it kind of like, if you're smart, you realize it defeats your theory if you're like, well, if she knew she had to live with him, and that's why she was showing up there, so why would she be throwing him under the bus 10 minutes later? Like, but people can't think past that.
Right.
Like, if you really were in cahoots, why would she be like just throwing names out when she goes to the police and she's freaking out? If we weren't in cahoots. But it's like, and one time the story looks good when I can throw the bus with her. One time it's good when I can throw Wendi underneath the bus. Like, I just, when Dan told me we're coming home in that car together, I said to him, that would be awesome. That would be the happiest day of my life. No, it's going to happen. You're going to be playing with Roman. You're going to be good. I'm like, Dan, like, but you know when someone says something and you're just like, from your mouth to God's ear, I'm like, that would be great. But like, I'm not like, it didn't mean anything. I said, like, I didn't feel it in my bones. Like, I really didn't. I hope. But I wasn't like, put it this way, I didn't feel it in my bones the way I felt like what it was going to be like in Tallahassee. That I felt in my bones. That I felt in my gut. This was like just hearing talk and wishful thinking and like hoping that what he's saying is true and accurate. I mean, they did their opening in this.
No, just take 1 second. Take that off. Decline. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. No, they did the opening in this. You okay?
Yeah. Let me get the other. Okay. I'm good, honey.
No, they did the opening in this case. Dan looks at me. It was like a blue, like a felt tip marker, like not a marker, but not a pen, like kind of in between. And not felt tip, but like almost like a highlighter kind of tip, whatever. And he writes in blue on a sticky pad. He writes, "We will win."
Yeah.
Like he was so confident in that room. Like I was so confident.
Look,
like I literally like.
Lawyer, he knew what he was talking about. This was insanity. What happened?
Like it was, but it's like if the case was going bad, I wouldn't be this fucked up. I would be like, okay, like they came out with this or that or the other. Like all the stuff that they had is all the stuff that in 2016 I knew they had, and that I was innocent, and they weren't going to have proof to show I did something I didn't do.
No.
Like that's it. Like I knew that. Like it was later that I found out that Wendi was actually trying to drive down a Trescott at 12:30 that day, but
I know.
very poor explanation of that. No, I didn't know until years later. I'm like, why are they going so hard after Wendi? Like, it makes like the event, you or someone said she showed up at the crime scene, like right after it happened. And I'm like, no, I heard that, but like it was somebody else at trial who had a similar car. The person was like, no, she actually really did. She showed up within an hour. She helped herself. The little author couldn't help herself. Like, holy shit. Guess what? If you're a cop, you know what you're asking? Why the fuck are you driving down Trescott when he lives 10 miles away? To a liquor store? There's 5 other liquor stores close to your house. You wanted to go to this one? This is not the direct route to this one. You're still not taking the liquor. You're taking an out-of-the-way route to a liquor store that's 3 times longer than all the other ones. The way I'm used to going. Okay. Your husband just got shot and now you just bought a bottle of bullet bourbon.
Yeah.
20 minutes after driving by the crime scene.
I want to tell you something. If she didn't have the proof on that one, she would have been arrested. If that's just like
she would have been.
Oh
yeah. So let me get this straight. You drive 10 miles out of your way, past your husband's house, the crime scene tape is up, he's shot in the head. You don't panic. You drive straight to a liquor store and you buy a bottle of bullet bourbon I mean, I know it's pronounced bullet in French or whatever, but everyone says bullet bourbon for that evening to celebrate with your friends. Had her friend just told her on the phone, oh, get some bullet bourbon, and then she just wrote it on a sheet of paper and then brought the paper with her and then bought it, her friend could have been like, I don't remember what bring it. Oh my God, to buy some alcohol. Could have been Mom. I don't remember. Like, who pays attention to that? Like, I have never in 47 years, if not 47, 47 years, been told to buy bullet bourbon and bring it to someone's house that night.
Yeah.
Have you? Nope. Right? Dad? Nope. So that's only, 180 years of experience.
Yeah.
None of us have ever had that request. In 180, Dad's almost 80 years, 70, 150. And then, so what, 190 years, 195 years of living on Earth between the three of us? No one's ever asked us to buy a bottle of bullet bourbon for that night, for a night. And as soon as you drive by your Trescott Lane, it's blocked off, you go pick yourself up a bottle of bullet bourbon and celebrate that night. And this is not your neighborhood, and we've already belabored all the reasons why it makes no sense that you're driving down that street today. Like, it just starts falling on deaf ears.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's that simple. Use your common sense.
You just said it. It's falling on deaf ears.
Yeah.
You said it right.
But look at what they did. That's why they started with that. Because what happened to Trescott? They allowed relocation. What's the one thing that the emails talk about that's more important than anything? Relocation. Like, so it all fits together. Like, if she can't expand her explanation kind of sucks. Why should I want to drive down Trescott at that time? I mean, a better explanation is she couldn't help herself. And once you buy that, everything else just looks like a rich, crazy family who wanted relocation, who did this, and she's a part of it, and that's why she's driving down the scene. Make sure it was done. Like, did you notice, like, they were, like, backtracking back and forth, and then they finally really backed off of Wendi because they realized, like, her cell tower showed that she was still at 5 miles away at 12:30 when Kate said, oh, I know it was already done.
Right.
So if Wendi was 5 miles away, how could she be calling and saying, I've already called and said that? If she was 5 miles away, it didn't fit their story. So they kind of backed off of the time stamping on that. Yeah. Everything else is like, well, if the shoe fits, like you're the one that benefits and you're the one that's showing up. Like, holy shit. Like, that's a coincidence? I mean, you know what I think? I think someone hears that in their ears, especially a mailman. I should have thought of that too. Like, a mailman just lives on routes and knows streets and just knows how many different ways you can get to a place from point A to point B. Like, to say that you had to go down Trescott would make, I should have thought about that a little bit when you let that the black sergeant who was the mailman come on. But I should have thought of that and been like, a mailman knows how many routes there are to get to someplace. So the probability factor starts taking a whole lot more when you said I had to take that route.
Yeah.
Like, that route or that time or that day, just after your TV man left. Like, I honestly think after that, these people thought like, hey, we're smarter than they are. We're not going to buy their shit. We can see the basics. We got common sense. Chances of that happening are 1 in 10,000. Now you got somebody who's looking at everything, saying it's a 1 in 10,000, like that they're actually telling the fucking truth. Now win me over with some overwhelming facts to prove your innocence. Overwhelming.
You're not supposed to have to prove innocence. Just prove.
How can you prove you weren't a part of? How can you prove you weren't a part of something that you weren't a part of?
Yeah.
I mean, That would be like someone pointing the finger at you and pointing the finger at Wendi, and you'd be like, look, how do I prove I wasn't part of something I wasn't part of? No, the person's going to sit there and point fingers now. Like, that's why I felt on deaf ears. That's why I was open with that, and that's why I was closed with that. His sweetheart shows up at the crime scene. That street, on that time, on that day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That smells like shit.
It does. It sounds terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Right. Yeah. And I'm involved in the case. See, even listen, I said I'm involved. Like, I'm involved, but I'm not involved. Oh, he said he's involved. Like, understand the context of what I'm saying is, like, I'm involved and I look at it in the case, and I'm like,
it looks crazy. Mm-hmm.
It looks, the ex-wife goes out of her way to drive by the murder scene right after hitmen come and kill her husband, ex-husband, after she talks to her mother or brother.
Yeah.
Like, you just painted the picture of the definition of conspiracy. You hear that, and everyone wants to know, why haven't they been arrested? We painted the picture. The problem is, it's on a false premise. At first, I didn't even think she was there. I thought it was bullshit, but she actually was there.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
When I heard that officer said, oh, this is a minivan that looked like, my wife's minivan, that's a Honda Odyssey, that's burgundy, and it fits the description of the ex-wife, I'm thinking, like, this guy's such an asshole. He's making this shit up. Like, there's tons of these out here. Wendi wasn't there. He wasn't. Wendi was there. The ex-wife showed up. I mean, listen, if I'm sitting at a bar and someone tells me a story with those couple facts, mind you, like, then you throw in the motive, the relocation that they keep bringing up.
Right.
And then you throw in the crazy emails. These people are crazy. Take them out of context, they're crazy. And you tell me how she benefits, and she's the one showing up. Like, if I was sitting at a bar and someone's like, she has nothing to do with it, you know what I would say? Get the hell out of here. Like, I can put two and two together. Like, you know what? What would you say if someone said that to you?
The thing is, I get it, and you're 100% right, and it all sounds like it's piling on, except she really wasn't on trial there. You were. And they spent more time on her.
And relocation and this and that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If she was a part of it, then I had to be a part of it. And if you sit there, go over all that stuff that I just belabored, and I said, and you said, no, I can add 2 + 2. That sounds very, 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 very suspicious. And you can get in your head that this girl had to be aware of what's about to transpire. It's a small step to go convict. It's a small step. Because look at the connection. Look at who I know. Look at who my ex-girlfriend was. Okay? And then look who was there. And look who was showing up. So here's the thing. If you could make it seem like when she's lying about the relocation, if she's lying about her feelings about Tallahassee, if all she wants to do is move, and all that gets accomplished, and then she couldn't help herself but show up at the crime scene, if you can prove that, you can. If you could have someone thinking she had to have advanced knowledge that she was there, then you've got the finger eating in the palm of your hand, and everything else is just like everything else. Like all I'm saying is that's like the foundation of the 1 in 10,000 was my friend from Detroit says that's 1 in a million. Are you kidding me? That's like 1 in a million. had a better chance of winning the lotto than having that happen. So if you can convince them that, hey, it's not a 1 in 10,000 or a 1 million occurrence, then you got to say he's guilty almost. Like, she doesn't show up there. She doesn't know about it. If she knows about it, who does she know about it from? Who does this all about?
Mm-hmm.
The person showing up, the person wanting to leave, the person who lied about how much she liked Tallahassee. Like, you read the emails. They want to get the hell out of here. It's just a small stop on the way to civilization. Isn't that what this was? Your husband worked at Florida State University. He worked at Florida State University, and he put the word North in there. You know, the name of the city was fucking identical to Tallahassee. It was like 2 letters off. I don't remember the name of it, but Tallahassee.
Hiawatha or something.
Hiahassee. The fictional town was Hiahassee. Yeah, Hiahassee.
It doesn't.
What was it?
Hiawatha.
Hiawatha. I mean, it sounds very similar. Her husband was a professor. She had 2 kids in immigration. Like, it's like you writing a story about a husband who's a doctor and you're a school teacher and someone's got 3 kids and 2 boys and a girl. Like, and they're from New York. They moved to South Florida, to the South. I mean, you know what I mean? It would be like, okay, you're getting this from somewhere. I mean, it got dumbed down to the point that once you had that as a foundation, everything else became like what you wanted to believe worship. That's why they spent so much time on relocation and her route that day and everything else. Because that's an unbelievable story in and of itself. But now you want me to believe more unbelievable stories. I mean, they put her on trial there.
I know they did.
You know, there's a reason why they were putting a picture of her out having a drink at the Katie on the beach.
Of course. Really?
You know, it was showing the connections. Like, it was showing the familiarity. It was putting the faces together of the players. Like, that was a good picture of Nathan Lawrence, actually. And Pierre's.
I know.
You saw that picture they put up of me?
No. Are you talking about the driver's license photo?
No, they put a picture of me up. I was standing there with Katie when I went to the Keys.
Oh, that one.
Second floor. Yeah. That's what I looked like back then. They took a photo that was my updated driver's license photo that I was busted from 2019. This happened in 14. Why not use a picture of what I look like in 14?
Well, because that makes you look
clean,
very clean.
Much more clean cut and short hair.
Right.
Like, much more clean cut. And that's what I look like in, like, that picture of us is 14. That's what I look like in 14. Like, no beard, shorter hair.
Yeah.
But the one at 18 makes you
Why
look.
would they show that? Why would they show that? That would look good.
Yeah, the one at 18 has no problem. But if you're going to talk about 14, why don't you show what I look like in 14? You know, like.
Because they're trying to paint a picture. That's why. They're trying to paint a picture. They don't care if it's true or it's not true. They're trying to paint a picture.
Yeah.
That's exactly what.
I'm sorry. I know I've been talking forever.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm just sitting here, like, literally all my heart's ripped out. I'm sure you feel the same way. Like, I'm still in shock. I go from shock to sadness to anger.
To anger.
Like, shock and sadness. Yeah. Like, disbelief. Like,
But Dad and I feel like our hearts have been ripped out. Not plausible yet. I can't deal with it yet. Can't.
Like, when I'm talking to you and just talking about things that's not normal, when I'm not talking, my head's in other places and I fucking.
Yeah. I know, but be careful because, at some point nobody came today, which I'm really pissed about, but they didn't come.
What's that?
Your chief.
No,
over here.
the chief was supposed to come today. I feel comfortable. It's like I get like numbness in my hands, my arms, like I get cold, numb waves. It literally feels like, honestly, it feels like the heart has been ripped out.
I know. I know how you feel. I know. Trust me, I know.
I know it's affecting you guys. I know it's affecting Wendi. I feel terrible. I wanted to do so much stuff with Ben. Like, literally.
I know.
It's killed me not being able to be doing stuff with him over the last year. Like, he's actually becoming like a cool teenager. Like, I was getting to the point where I was thinking maybe I won't. Like, I'll go to Asia for a few months, hang out, and decompress, and maybe I'll back to the farm and see like the life there if I can. I'll think sort of quiet down for a little while. I just wanted to go back to my home.
I know what you wanted, and I know you were going to take time, and you were going to think about how to do it, how much time.
I was going to take like 3 months off. In February, I was going to go out there with. In February, I was going to go out there with Scott to a new place in Vietnam, go to Costa Louis, fly back and forth. Like everything I've worked for my whole life. Like all I have fucking did is work. To be honest with you, so I was 29. I did a periodontist school. I got out. I worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. And I made a ton of money. And I had people steal from me. And I lived a very low-key lifestyle. Really did. I mean, even when I bought a limo, I paid $7,500. I paid for half of it.
I know.
So,
I know.
Like I didn't really spend money on things. I mean, the one thing I treated myself with is I bought that Ferrari. I was like 5 years old. And 5 years old when I bought it, 5.5 years old. That was the only item. That was literally one item. Like outside of that, like I bought a boat for $8,000. I had a boat that I bought and sold, but I never.
I know. You never treated yourself.
I never treated myself. Never fucking treated myself. Still have the same 2 or 3 pairs of jeans, the same 1 pair of dress shoes. Like all I fucking did was work. Work. Help everybody else out along the way. And now I'm here. And now it's like, because he was thinking about making a trust for Roman and him growing up without me is the one thing that fucking killed me.
I know.
I can't even explain it to you. I mean, being a parent, having to want to do all these things with him, and I'm going to be the kind of parent that thinking, listen, I'm 47, I've waited so long to have a kid. I could finally be financially set and be that fun dad that's not working all the time and do all kinds of great stuff with him and he's gonna be my twin. And now I'm fucking sitting here making up a will. I just get these fucking poor every time I talk to him on the phone, it's what's the heart? What is happening? It makes me happy to hear his voice, but it fucking hurts twice as bad. It hurts twice as bad talking to him. I mean, I'm happy that the kid doesn't know, but he's not going to remember me outside of pictures of the videos. Trust me, he won't even recognize me if he keeps me in prison. He won't even recognize what I look like. He will have no memory of me outside of pictures and videos of the outside world.
You know what, Charlie? This is just why you need to just have hope, think that we are trying to do something, and just hang in there because that's all upsetting stuff. It's awful, and there are opportunities. So we've got to follow through with them, and it's going to take some time. You're right, but just don't.
I'm gonna have hope, but Dan flat out told me like expect a year and a half to 2 years for the appeal. You know, I mean, I've already been here for over a year and a half. That's just for like the process to get going. And it's like, Jesus, I wish I could say I had ineffective counsel, or I had a shitty judge, or I had like, no, like, holy shit, like I was on cloud nine a week ago. I came off of there, Dan was like showing me text messages that people were sending him. Like, I wasn't giving away my stuff. I gave away my socks. I gave away my other long sleeve shirts I have. I got one that's that hole in the elbow. Like, I literally was like, this is happening. Like, holy shit, like we're way ahead. No. These people had deaf ears at the time Wendi showed up at the crime scene. You know, you can only tell one crazy story at a time for people to not say you got lots of stories. She's got common sense on her side. She couldn't help herself. Like, I mean, she even said Katie came in here and lied.
Yeah, she lied.
No, Katherin even admitted to that. It's like, yeah,
she had
look at everything else.
She twisted and turns all over the place, so she had no option.
Yes, but look at everything else. Well, everything else was all some crazy shit that happened. It doesn't mean it didn't. It was just it was hard to believe it happened. And if you think that Wendi showed up because she knew, then you got to think it. That was the take-home message.
Yeah.
And I literally, like, it's crazy. When Enzo died, I felt maybe that was a sign of things. I know you think I'm superstitious, and I am in certain things. But if you look at when and how and everything else around it, that was a sign from God. I even said it, like, this is a sign that shit.
You know what? I think we're all a little superstitious.
Yeah, but that's crazy. How about all the stuff surrounding it?
There's no understanding it. Honestly, I think you didn't have a chance in hell up there.
No, there was
no matter how good everybody was, and they were beyond good. You didn't have a chance.
No, the answer was like, oh, it depends on what jury you pick. Listen, I had Josh picking the jury.
That's right.
With his two associates who do this professionally come down. They had if you see the whole diagram they made up with lists on everybody, and like they dug into these people. They knew who we had. They knew who we had to get rid of. Like, with all that, you couldn't get one. Dan was worried about having one that was both guilty and would be hung. That's what his answer to me was.
Right.
He was thinking, listen, I'm thinking, because usually when I'm on a trial, I'm always hoping that we have one that's going to hang the trial. He goes, right. In this case, he goes, we should win. He goes, I'm worried about getting somebody on this jury that's going to think guilty when the other 11 are finding innocent, and then we hang that way. He's like, I'm worried about an 11-1 hang, not a 1-11 hang. Like, that was his thought. And then when everything was coming in, he said, like, when everything's coming in, you got the testimony coming in from everybody. You got everything coming in. Like, it's looking good. Like he said to me, he said, if someone would have told me, this was like a Friday. He said, if someone would have told me 2 weeks ago, this is where we would be at this point in the trial with everything coming in, because I would have been ecstatic. I would have been ecstatic.
You know, the man based his reputation on this case, Charlie. Believe me, he didn't leave a stone unturned.
He spent all his time, like he would be on a bicycle, he'd be listening to podcasts. He would be talking to the bicycle group about it. He was talking to guys he played tennis with, trying to get feels for like what kind of jurors would be good for us. He was talking to old people. He would go to a family dinner and say, okay, let me tell you about this case I'm working on. Tell people some facts and see how it resonates with them and see what people think. And like, you know, and like present the argument, see what people think. It wasn't that. They were overwhelmed by the states, dumbing it down and a couple crazy facts, and then you have deaf ears because, holy shit, I've heard for the last 6 months he was worried about having one juror that makes it hang. I was hoping to have one juror to make it hang, but here's the problem, Mom. You need 12 to walk out of this place.
Right.
And I should have not smoked so much weed and thought through it and said to myself, Charlie, you got 12 that you need to say to let you walk. Like that's what the guard said to me when I was downstairs. It doesn't mean all 12 to agree. You're all 12 innocent or all 12 guilty.
Right.
And then when he said that to me, I was thinking to myself, I was looking at those faces that walked in today for closing statements, and none of them looked me in the face. And I was thinking, like, that I was not getting all 12 of those people to agree. So if all 12 will agree, you're going to have to run it back again with a hung jury. They're doing it again. They're doing it again. So even if you got one out of 12, you know what that means? You're doing it again. But at least it's like, all right, we're still fighting. We're still in this. Like, don't give up hope. We got a trial coming up. It's like it never even happened. We're going at it again. Come on. Don't lose your focus. Like, if you know how well I had to sell to myself with all my food and sell to myself, like, and a push on, like, not in prison where I'm worried, like, I can't even go through my shit, you know, or like, it's not like I'm going to have a quiet place to maybe study and use my attorney all the time and, like, you know, and go through all this stuff. And, I mean, I had my A game. You know, I looked my A game. I ain't going to look the same after I go in. I'm not going to be, you know, it's like the disheartening part is, Mom, is that with everything that was done, not one person out of 12.
Was Dan heading back today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't called him on the phone with you all day pretty much. I just am like, you know, so to think like, okay, you're going to get the appeal, you're going to win the appeal, you're going to get a new trial, you're going to get a change of venue with a new trial. Like, do you see the circus that was just there now? It'll be there, but more when you get a new trial.
Not a change in venue, Charlie. It won't be the same. It won't be the same. Will there be media? Of course. It won't be the same. It will not.
Maybe we will get a change of venue. You know, I mean, but like, listen, if these people flat out told the judge, like, I can be fair, I can, like Dan said, because I don't think these jurors were honest with us when they sat down. Like, we got rid of the ones that were honest. Listen, you only know what someone tells you. You know, they say they don't know about the case, but they don't know about the case again. I mean, if they sure wanted to be buddies with each other and give each other their cell phone numbers after the case, they must realize it's a high-profile case. Is that why they wanted to get on? I can't imagine jurors wanting to, like, keep in contact with other jurors. Like, if you have a friend, go ask them for their number, but, like, have a group chat. They know what this entails. They were part of something big in Tallahassee. They have a story to tell. The jurors that are on national TV now, talking about this story, their experience. Like, and it's long, it's exactly what I thought it would be. It's exactly, you ever feel something in your bones? Like, I know that sounds crazy when I'm talking.
No, it's not.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever felt that? Like,
yeah,
sometimes. Like, you have a feeling in your bones, like you just, I could feel it in my bones. Like, I felt it in my gut. Like, this, when that girl Christy was telling me about what a big deal it is up in Tallahassee, and like, took pictures with me and like her friends up in Tallahassee, and I was like, in a weird vibe. She's around people with money, and her dad ran for governor, and like, she's around the in circle of people. Like, for her to be making such a big deal about this, telling me how big it is making me sick. Because as she spoke, it made me feel like she's making such a big deal about it. Like, This is the biggest thing up there. So, like, when we finally get an Adelson up there,
Yeah.
my bones, I was thinking, like, I won't stand a chance in hell. I won't stand a chance in hell. And these people are not going to stop. They're going to be like a dog going after a bone. And then, and that's what it's going to be. Like, this is crazy. Like, what am I hanging around for? And I was like,
I'm sure that.
what am I, you know? This is, I literally felt like I was looking at it. I mean, look, I went so far that time as to say, look, what was going to end up in North Carolina? Like, we're walking up there, let me paint the picture for you of what it's going to look like. And this wasn't, that was when Dad came over the house that night to do dinner or something. You remember?
I do.
Like, and then we walked, and then like we stopped like halfway between my house and the farm store in the middle of the street. And I was like, let me lay down for you. This is exactly what I see transpiring. This is exactly how it's going to go down. I go in there and to top it off, going to be in North Carolina. And he said, 6-7 months. Like, you know, and then I came in here, it was taking 6-7 months, and then somehow, you remember when I first came in and you were like, Marcus couldn't try the case until February, you were thinking? And we were like, God,
what he said is, I can fit you in April of 23. I can fit you in.
Right. No, he was, in April of 23, he ended up going to trial on that federal case up here and won.
I know, Charlie, but at the time, that was the date he was given. That was the date.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was like April. I'm like, oh my God. Like, well, April turned into October of 23, real quick. It was like, I remember it was February. February, they said, okay, what's going on? And we were sitting there in February or July, and it was like, okay, we're going to go on and we're going to go October 23rd. And I was like, holy shit, that's 240 days. Over 240 fucking days. And I was like, literally counting down, Mom. I probably had a countdown, solid countdown from like around 180, counting to day 80. Waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3:45 in the morning. Okay, 179 days left in the shit. And I remember when I was at 126 days.
Yeah.
Every day, like, had knuckles with the side, I'd see him like 125 days. I'd see him like hit knuckles and 124 days. And he's like, man, I can't believe it's at 100. Then when we got to 100, I'm like, okay, once they get to 100, break 100, I'm going to feel good. 90, I'm going to feel great. 60, it's going to feel real. 30, it's going to be like game on, like we had a game case coming up on trial. Like, I was like so fucking pumped. I didn't stand a fucking chance, Mom. This was not, oh, this jury was bad. I didn't stand a fucking chance with a prosecutor that's gonna sit there with one of these browsing the liquor store, all the other shit, and the TV goat. They're gonna sit there and it's deaf ears. I couldn't get 1 or 12 to be good. Like I could not get 1 out of 12.
I know. I don't think it mattered what was going on there, Charlie. I think they just.
I think the case was decided actually before the closing statement. I think the closing statement was like to make everybody sick. Because her purpose was of putting the same autopsy photo up multiple times and leaving it up there while she spoke. I'm sure that it just made people like. I'm sure the infuriated people. I understand why. But like, how could that be after the cross-examination of me on Friday, Thursday?
I know.
like I can't wrap my head around it. Like, how the fuck does that work? Like, how can, and here's the thing, how can you not get one? Or even one that wants to fight and listen to the evidence and read through stuff? I mean, how do you have, what, you don't have fucking one. You don't have hindsight, now analyzing with you. Having a sergeant who works in the post office is probably the worst person. There's a big tall black guy who has the 5 black women like following him around. He's a leader, and he works in the post office. I know routes. The probability of you taking that route makes me think that we have a big problem there. Like, who knows routes and neighborhoods better than a postman?
Yeah. Nobody.
And how many different routes and different places you're going to just drive through, trust that lane. Same time your husband's getting shot. Like, listen, after that, it's like, who is he? Well, you talk to your brother that morning for 18 minutes. Like,
I didn't know there was something like that. Yeah.
What did you say, Mom?
I said, you said, talk to my brother for 18 minutes. I mean, they made up stories about this one talks to this one talks to that one. Yeah, it's a family. They do that. Is that a problem?
Mom called to say the appointment was made, okay, and I called Wendi because I was in a fight with Katie, and I called my mom, Katie, like girlfriends and all. Here's the thing. I only talk to Wendi like every 10 days, 2 weeks. The only reason I spoke to her was because I was in a fight with Katie. Get some opinion on what I should do. So I called my sister first thing I got on the phone. I thought I don't want to call her. Normally don't call her anyway. So that's just a little bit stand out, and then you have stupidity, absolute asinine stupidity when they have that guy talking about series of landlines. And here we have a landline conversation again. Like, 1997, I had that number calling in 1976. Same numbers on my cell phone. So I'm not trying to hide anything. Like, the only time in the whole case I wanted to have privacy was when I was on the phone with Eric, and I'm like, let me call you from your cell phone. I'll call you from my landline. At that time, and that's because I didn't know what Eric was going to say about Katie, and I was overly cautious after Mike told me don't talk anything about Katie. Or Eric was not talking about Katie. I was like, you know what? Mike told me that the phone's now. Let me be cautious. This is what Eric was going to say. Like, that was it. That was the one time. And I tell them. But they have a pie chart. The first attempt, the second attempt, and I called just a little odd, but you're only there for 60, 70 days all year.
For the whole year.
I have 2 years. So I said that to Dan. They said, you don't even want to be that point. Just show them that it's nonsense. But I don't know. I mean, they made a demonstrative out of it. They just did a big pie with the tiniest sliver being the 24 calls out of the 3,500 calls that day. Like, I think significant. It is statistically significant because I never call that number. Yeah. But I'd only call it if I knew you were home. Otherwise, I'd always call yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, I must have known you were home, so I called it on your line. It's always a better connection. But I'm calling from my cell phone. But you know what? They brought that up in opening, and they brought that up in closing. That was part of the closing. You know what they were doing? They were taking all the things that they could say are statistically significant and go, look at how many statistically significant things that are occurring. And there comes a point that you try to start adding them all up, and you're going, hey, the 2 times he called, or the 2 times these guys went up on the trip, and 2 times he's calling his parents' phone number. What's the chances of Wendi showing up? The chances of the TV being mentioned in 3 different ways? Significant. Yeah. Like, we got a number of things that keep coming up that are significant because they're involving age, time, locations. How can fucking coincidences. That's why you can't explain, like, why I bought a TV because you didn't have a fucking TV.
That's right.
You said TV because the guy asked for $5. If he asked for $50,000, I guarantee you would have said this car costs about $50.
I would have.
No, how do you talk?
But it made sense to say something that costs about that amount of money.
Back in that time, the TV was back a couple thousand, 3, 4, 5. You walk in the branch 15 years ago, it was 3, 4, 5. If he said the TV is $5, I would be like, are you talking $500?
You know.
The TVs are $500. So if they asked for $50,000, you would have said this car is about $50. I would have known the car costs about $50. The TV would cost about $5. It wouldn't be $5. 15 years ago, it said it would be about $500. More likely it would be $1,000. So, like, is it statistically significant? The code word being brought up? I mean, it's odd as fuck that you had me buy that for Wendi for her divorce price. God. 2012. You know what I paid for that TV set?
I don't.
$2,000. I remember it was maybe $2,200.
Really? I knew it was a couple of thousand. I just didn't remember so much.
I was just in the car, and we saying, what does she need? She wants a nice TV set. They go get her a really nice TV set, and I'll pay for it. $2,200. Just to have more money than time. No time. You know, I never spent a single airline mile. I was, you know, when I was in Kyoto, she wanted to take me to Japan to meet the family and do all that stuff. She wanted to fly first class, and I was like, put off by the idea. I was kind of annoyed that she should go home by first class. I've never flown first class in my life. We go home by first class. We looked up how many airline miles it was going to cost me for a round trip ticket. It was like 346,000 airline miles. And I've been saving those miles forever. So, I mean, it was going to cost me like 700,000 airline miles to fly to Japan back and forth, first class or business class, something like that. And I was so pissed that she wanted to fly first class like that. And then that was also going to be like a good solid 2 weeks off of work.
Yeah. You didn't want to do. I know.
Jesus Christ, if I had a fucking time machine, holy shit.
Charlie, by the way, just in case we get to 4:15, so I don't want you to, you know, it might go off at 4:30.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It definitely will.
It will, I know. So
yeah.
So
we got 13 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was very put off by the idea of getting 700,000 sky miles, and I was very put off by the thought of missing two and a half weeks of work. And I would have gone to Japan as a beautiful girl and loved me and wanted to have a family and have a life and flew on first class. Instead, I fucking worked like a little dog and make more money for fucking what? Fucking what? I got, 2.5 million airline miles now?
I don't know what you have, but I know it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. We got about 2.5 million airline miles. Maybe more. Fucking what? 2.5 million airline miles. Don't want to take 2 weeks off of work. I've been sitting in jail rotting for almost 19 months. Literally rotting away. 19 months. I look like that.
Yeah.
First time this mirrored glass makes me like, I can actually see what I look like because I've been looking off of like a chrome plate. Like, I definitely don't look the same. It's just, I mean, it's like, it just bothered me. Like, it, honestly, like, you couldn't have a bigger change in life. Like, being 36 years old, the girl wanted me to move to continue with her family, fly first class to Japan, needed a family that's super successful. You know, she wanted to get a home, got a home on Palmer Hibiscus, get a dog, have kids, to the shit. You couldn't have a bigger change, could you? You couldn't. I mean, like, if you realize what I've experienced in life, like where I was, what I built up, where I got to in life on my own, what my life was like, you know, hanging out with friends who liked me and were successful and good times and opportunities and building, working, doing nothing but working. I don't know. I don't want to go to Japan or Junko. I'm taking 2.5 weeks off of work. I'm using all these airline miles up.
Yeah.
I was 36. I was at 36. 35, 36. Holy shit. Yeah. I mean, all my friends were struggling trying to figure out their businesses, and I was sitting at the Continuum with Junko having tequilas and talking about our future, and that was reality. That was the pinnacle. You can't get higher than that. Beautiful girl. She had money. You know, I was successful, both good looking, nothing but like opportunities galore.
So we all wish we had a time machine. Say that. Oh.
But you got to understand, Mom, that's what my life was.
I know what your life was.
Like, it's not like oh, I was hoping to do this. I mean, I was there. Like, I was there. I made it.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking made it, and I made it on my own. Like, I didn't make it by screwing people over. I made it on my own. Nobody was helping me. Nobody was doing shit for me.
Yeah.
You know, if I asked my sister for something, it was to fucking translate something into Spanish. That was the big ask. Like, I wasn't. Oh, a second. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good, man. Hey, if you could get that. Yeah.
Charlie? Hello?
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow, man. All right, buddy. I guess they're it's like it's a good idea what I've seen them do. You got to try something. I guess it's being recorded on the news. They're watching it in other pod. Then I put it in for for something that happened at the trial, whatever Dan filed yesterday.
He filed a motion.
Yeah, he filed a motion yesterday. I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, and they were talking about it on the radio. And then from the pod next door, they're seeing it. Well, listen, who knows? The jurors said they exchanged numbers, and there may be something in the chat, like, you know, it's just a prayer. It's just a prayer.
Just a prayer. That's right.
We're just sending up a prayer. I just feel like there's so many thoughts in relation to my life. Like, I mean, it kills me in that I know where I was, like what my life looked like, what my fucking opportunities look like, and it's like I've been tough for the last year and a half.
I know you have.
It's really been like I can make it through this. Like, listen, I've never been to jail before. I've been in jail for 19 months now. Mm-hmm. You know, but like I knew this was going to be, you know, I knew this was going to be bullshit before I even got up here. Like I knew it in my bones, and I fucking expressed it many times. I mean, let me ask you this: Did I ever say anything other than what it was going to be when I got up here?
I do. No, I know you did. I know you did.
You know, and I'm like, and I still want to more Harvey. I still trying to like create some semblance of a life. But I saw my life change. I saw the people in my life change. I saw all the opportunities in my life disappear. I saw what I was to people, and they just trying to use me. And I saw the level of girls that I used to get and then did get. And it's just like the quality of everything just went down the fucking toilet. quality of the people, the quality of the opportunity, the quality of of everything that I was around me. And hold on a second. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. I'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully. I just literally all disappeared before my eyes. And I still stayed and bought into the bullshit that I was fed. I had spent a fortune, fucking absolute fortune, embracing the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And brought in the absolute fucking best, given the best shot in the whole world.
Yes, you did.
Best shot in the whole world we're going to have. I was as sharp as I'm ever going to be in that room. I was prepared as I'm ever going to be. And to the fucking year of the night, knowing that he was in the back of his hand. He had Kate, he had Dubin, he had everybody, guns a-blazing.
Yep.
Not one. You know what not one tells me? You have a fucking chance at it. Not a chance at all. With that level of everything, to not get one, that wasn't. Thanks, guys. That's what it tells me. Not fucking one. Not anyone really putting time in there back then. I knew that's what I was up against.
Charlie, I'm just giving you a heads up. 4:27. If we get cut off, you call us back tonight, okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry to keep going on. I feel better when I talk to you.
Good.
It's
Fine. It's fine.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me.
Yeah. You need to thank me for listening. I love you, and there's no words for this. Honestly, there's just no words. You're not getting a lot of encouragement with this guy not showing at 4:30. I'm really annoyed.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll be here today. Tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
You can call Dan and let him know that
They never came. What's his name, Mac? M-A-C-K?
Yeah, like that.
Okay, I'll tell him. I'll text him.
I just, Mom, what just killed me is that I fucking knew what Tallahassee was going to be about in this whole experience before I got up there. So it's I knew what it could be. I knew what it was going to be. I bought into the bullshit it wasn't going to be. But it clearly is what I thought it was, in that you can't get one fucking juror. Not one. Because the strikes that I had to use up on people that were the 911 operators and that was on the lieutenant on the police department. The lady whose boyfriend's a sheriff's officer in town. It wasn't real strikes. It was people you had to get rid of. Couldn't keep one good one for me. The jury of my fucking peers. There's not one person on there that was. The alternate was my peer. That's why he made him the alternate. Yeah, he said he would have quit me. We'd have a hung jury. We'd be going to trial and 6 days down.
Right.
Yeah. This was fucking exactly what I thought it was going to be. Listen, I'm not going to give up hope. I'm going to stay in there.
No, please don't, because we'll fight. As long as I know you're hanging in there, we will fight for you, Charlie. You know that.
Yeah, well, I will. I know you guys are going to take care of stuff when you're on the outside.
Yeah.
What, Charlie?
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
I know. I feel the time. That's why Dad's saying.
I love you guys. All right, Dan, I love you.
Too, honey.
I'll call you guys after 6:30. Okay?
That's great.
That's great.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, tell Dan. Kate, can you tell Dan?
Tell Dan what I just texted him. Charlie. Oh, I must have cut it. I knew that was going to happen.
That's why.
Oh, Dan. I knew that was going to happen.
So.
I kept telling him.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.